find yourself in a room full of people but feel like you're invisible? Are you tired of standing on the sidelines, watching others take the spotlight? What if I told you that your shyness isn't a flaw, but a skill that's waiting to be unlocked? That's right. You're not shy. You're simply not fully aware of the power you hold over social situations. In fact, mastering social skills isn't just about talking to others. It's about controlling the narrative. In today's video, we'll dive deep into how to break free from the chains of perceived shyness and step into a realm of social dominance and influence. You'll learn how to command the room with stoic calmness and dark psychological principles that will make you irresistible to anyone you meet. Welcome to Stoic Mastery, the channel where we transform the way you approach life with timeless wisdom, psychological insight, and powerful strategies to help you thrive in the world. If you want to master your mind, elevate your social game, and unlock success, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and turn on updates so you never miss out on life-changing content. Now, let's get into it. You're not shy. Let's prove it. Number 1, understanding shyness. It's not what you think. Most people would define themselves as shy when they feel anxious or uneasy in social situations. They describe themselves as quiet, introverted, or sometimes even invisible in a crowd. But what if I told you that this label is not only limiting, but it's completely misleading? The truth is, you're not shy. You're just unaware of the power you already hold in social interactions. Let's begin by breaking down the myth of shyness. When most people say they're shy, what they really mean is that they feel awkward or unsure about how to engage with others. But feeling awkward isn't the same as being shy. Shyness is not an inherent trait. It's a self-imposed label that limits your potential. Everyone has the capacity to be comfortable and even commanding in social settings, but you need to understand the real reasons behind those uncomfortable feelings. At the core of your so-called shyness is a fear of judgment. You might worry about how people perceive you or feel that you don't measure up to social standards. These fears often stem from your internal narrative, the stories you tell yourself about your abilities or worth. But what if we changed the narrative? Instead of focusing on what others might think, you could learn to redirect your attention to what you can control, your own thoughts, behaviors, and actions. This brings us to one of the most important aspects of mastering social situations, the power of silence. Silence is often viewed as uncomfortable, but it is one of the most underrated tools in social mastery. When you understand the value of silence, you can wield it like a weapon. The great Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus emphasized inner silence and observation as pathways to wisdom. Instead of feeling compelled to fill every silence with chatter, you can embrace the power of stillness. Silence allows you to gather information, read people, and maintain a sense of control over yourself and the situation. In fact, people are often uncomfortable in social situations precisely because they are afraid of silence. But here's the secret. When you are comfortable in silence, you send a powerful signal to others. You project self-assurance and emotional control. Silence is a powerful form of communication. Instead of nervously trying to talk your way into a conversation or proving yourself, you learn to let your presence speak for itself. The more you can sit in the discomfort of silence without feeling the need to fill it, the more social dominance you'll gain. This is where dark psychology comes into play. One of the core principles of dark psychology is that people are uncomfortable when they cannot read others' emotions or intentions. By being composed and calm in silence, you create uncertainty in the minds of others. They become unsure of your thoughts or intentions, which forces them to engage with you more. They will often seek validation or approval from you, which naturally shifts the power dynamic in your favor. When you control the pace and flow of conversation, you position yourself as the one who is in charge. Now, I want you to pause and reflect for a moment. Are you really shy, or are you just not tapping into the power of silence and emotional control? You already have the ability to dominate social situations with ease. It's just a matter of embracing your true potential and shifting your perspective. If you're ready to break free from the limitations of shyness, stop labeling yourself as shy. Instead, start focusing on your inner power and calm presence. Understand that shyness is not your identity. It's simply a barrier that can be dismantled with the right mindset. And if you're starting to realize your true potential, drop the phrase, "I'm in control," in the comments below. Let's start this journey to mastery together. Number 2, the Stoic foundation, mastering self-control. To truly master social situations, you must first understand that social power doesn't come from impressing others or conforming to their expectations. It comes from mastering yourself. The core of Stoicism, a philosophy founded in ancient Greece, revolves around self-control, and this is the key to unlocking social confidence. The dichotomy of control, one of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism, states that some things are within our control and others are not. When you apply this to social interactions, it becomes clear you cannot control how others perceive you or how they react to you. What you can control is your response to their behavior. In other words, mastering your own emotions and actions is the foundation of all social success. Take a moment to think about the last time you felt socially awkward. Most likely, your discomfort came from worrying about how others saw you or fearing they wouldn't accept you. These worries stem from external factors which are outside your control. When you place your focus on these external variables, you automatically give away your power. This is where Stoic self-control comes in. By practicing self-control, you shift the focus inward. You control your thoughts, your actions, and your emotional responses. The Stoics believed that happiness and social success aren't the result of external circumstances, but the result of controlling your inner state. When you stop reacting to the world around you and start responding with calm, clarity, and purpose, you immediately become a person of authority and influence. A powerful Stoic practice that directly impacts your social life is the ability to accept what you cannot change and focus on what you can. For example, you cannot control how someone behaves in a conversation, but you can control how you respond. If someone interrupts you or dismisses your ideas, the Stoic approach is to remain composed and respond with logic or silence, never allowing emotions to dictate your reactions. This will not only help you maintain your composure, but also increase your perceived social power. Others will see you as calm, unshaken, and unflappable, which in turn makes them more likely to trust you and seek your company. This brings us to the Stoic practice of negative visualization. While it might sound counterintuitive, imagining the worst-case scenario in any social situation can help you remain emotionally grounded and self-possessed. Imagine a conversation going poorly, or a group of people rejecting your ideas, then realize that it doesn't matter. No matter what happens, your worth does not change. Negative visualization helps you detach from the outcome and reduces the fear of rejection or judgment. When you internalize this concept, you stop chasing validation from others. You begin to act from a place of strength, knowing that regardless of the external situation, you remain in control. This Stoic mindset builds true confidence, the kind that doesn't rely on approval from others. Lastly, remember that Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions, but about transforming them. It's about cultivating a deep sense of inner peace and being aware of how external events influence your mental state. The more you practice this, the more you'll notice your social power grow, not because you're trying to dominate, but because you are calm, unreactive, and in control. If this Stoic principle of mastering self-control resonates with you, hit the like button and leave a comment saying, "I control my mind," below. Let's start building that unshakable confidence together. Number 3, the art of perception, how to read people like a book. In social situations, the ability to understand and interpret people's behaviors is one of the most powerful skills you can possess. To truly master social dynamics, you must become a keen observer, learning to read the unspoken language of others. The more you understand about those around you, the more you can control interactions and manipulate outcomes without them even knowing it. The Stoics were masters of observation. They understood that in order to live in accordance with nature, one must first observe it carefully. This applies to social dynamics as well. To gain power in conversations and social settings, you must understand the subtle signals that people give off. Body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions all communicate far more than words ever could. People reveal their true thoughts and feelings through these non-verbal cues. And by paying attention, you can gain invaluable insight into what's happening beneath the surface. Imagine you're in a room and someone is talking to you, but their arms are crossed and their feet are pointed away from you. What are they communicating? These are signs of discomfort or disinterest. By learning to read these subtle cues, you immediately gain an advantage in the interaction. You now know that the person is likely not fully engaged or is closed off, giving you the opportunity to adjust your approach, ask more engaging questions, or shift the topic to something that might spark their interest. In essence, you become the master of the conversation, leading it with awareness of what the other person needs, even if they don't explicitly say it. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This principle is critical to understanding people. By listening intently to both the words and the silence in a conversation, you can gain insights into what others might be feeling or thinking. Silence, or a pause in speech, often reveals more than any set of words could. This is your moment to observe, to gauge the person's comfort, and to decide the next course of action. But perception is not just about reading others. It's about controlling how others perceive you. As you observe those around you, you simultaneously craft the image you wish to project. By mastering the subtle art of body language and nonverbal cues, you can influence how others respond to you. A firm handshake, steady eye contact, or an open posture all signal confidence and openness. The more self-aware you become of these signals, the more you can manipulate the perception others have of you. This is where dark psychology comes into play. Understanding the fears, desires, and insecurities of others gives you the ability to influence their decisions and actions. If you know what someone fears, you can subtly mirror their body language or adjust your tone to create trust. If you understand their deep desire for validation or admiration, you can provide it at the right moment, becoming someone they want to be around. The goal is not manipulation for manipulation's sake, but to build rapport and establish connections that allow you to shape the interaction to your advantage. In social situations, you must be strategic in your approach. Observe the dynamics, read between the lines, and use your insights to steer the conversation in a direction that benefits you. The more you practice this, the more powerful you become. You'll no longer be a passive participant in social exchanges, but an active leader, capable of controlling the flow of interaction and subtly influencing the people around you. If you're starting to see the power of perception in your social interactions, drop the phrase, "I read the room," in the comments below. Master this skill, and you'll never be left in the dark in social settings again. Number 4, confidence without ego, why humility wins. True confidence doesn't come from boasting or trying to convince others of your worth. It comes from humility, a quiet, unshakable sense of self-assurance that doesn't need validation from anyone. When you operate from a place of humility, You don't have to prove yourself to others. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence without arrogance because they don't come across as desperate for attention or approval. In Stoicism, the concept of virtue, acting in accordance with nature and reason, is at the heart of true confidence. The Stoics believed that true greatness comes not from external accolades or the praise of others, but from living in harmony with your values and maintaining inner peace. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers and a Roman emperor, repeatedly emphasized the importance of focusing on the internal rather than the external. He wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This principle holds true when it comes to social interactions. Confidence that comes from an inner sense of self is far more powerful than the superficial confidence built on the need for external validation. Ego, on the other hand, often undermines true confidence. The ego thrives on comparison and validation. It constantly seeks to elevate itself above others and often leads to arrogance. Arrogance is the opposite of true confidence. It is a mask that hides insecurity. People who feel the need to boast or seek admiration often do so because they don't feel secure within themselves. This neediness is off-putting and makes others uncomfortable. When you operate with humility, you focus on your own growth, not on outshining others. You understand that you don't need to be the loudest or most attention-grabbing person in the room. Instead, you carry a quiet confidence that draws people in because it is rooted in the strength of knowing who you are. This confidence is magnetic because it doesn't demand anything from others. It simply exists. The Stoic idea of self-awareness is critical here. Self-awareness allows you to recognize when your ego is taking over and redirect your focus. When you become too preoccupied with how others view you, you lose sight of your own sense of value. By practicing self-reflection, you can keep your ego in check, which strengthens your emotional resilience and social presence. True confidence means embracing your flaws and being comfortable with them. When you stop pretending to be perfect, others feel more comfortable around you. They see that you're human, just like them. This creates an unspoken bond and an air of authenticity that makes people trust you and respect you. In social situations, people are more likely to gravitate toward you when you radiate a calm, assured confidence, free from ego. This doesn't mean being passive or silent. It means acting from a place of self-assurance, not out of the need to prove something. You don't need to dominate the conversation or make others feel small to feel good about yourself. Instead, your confidence is evident in your calm demeanor and ability to listen without judgment or interruption. If this resonates with you and you see the power of humility in building confidence, hit that like button and comment, "I am enough," below. Let's work together to build a life grounded in true confidence. Number 5, social mastery, the subtle art of influence. Social mastery is not about being the loudest in the room or dominating every conversation. True social influence comes from subtlety, the ability to guide conversations and interactions with ease, without forcing or overtly controlling anything. Mastering this art requires understanding the psychology of others and positioning yourself as someone who leads without being obvious about it. The first step in mastering social influence is recognizing that people are drawn to confidence, but not the kind that demands attention. It's the type of confidence that is calm, self-assured, and nonchalant. Stoicism teaches us that true leadership stems from acting with virtue and self-control, not from trying to impress others. When you lead by example, others follow, and your influence grows naturally. Influence doesn't require force. One of the most powerful techniques for gaining influence is learning how to ask the right questions. People love to talk about themselves, and by asking insightful, engaging questions, you can subtly direct the conversation toward topics that serve your goals. This isn't manipulation. It's simply understanding the dynamics of human interaction. The more you make people feel heard and understood, the more they'll trust you and want to be around you. The Stoic concept of non-attachment plays a big role here. When you are not overly attached to the outcome of any social interaction, you free yourself to be more present and fluid in your approach. You don't pressure yourself to win someone's approval, and that very lack of neediness makes you more attractive. When you stop forcing interactions to go a specific way, you allow them to evolve naturally, which often leads to better outcomes. A key part of subtle influence is understanding emotional dynamics. The ability to read people's emotions, whether they are tense, excited, or disengaged, allows you to adjust your behavior to fit the situation. This is where dark psychology comes into play. By understanding people's subconscious needs and fears, you can influence their actions without them realizing it. For example, if you sense someone is insecure, offering subtle affirmations or making them feel seen can build rapport quickly. If you sense someone is anxious, offering calm, composed energy can provide reassurance and subtly shift their emotional state. True mastery in social situations comes when you understand how to shift the energy in the room. If you walk into a space full of tension, your composed, stoic presence can have a calming effect. If the energy is too stagnant, your ability to inject enthusiasm or excitement can revive the conversation. You are constantly reading the environment and adjusting your approach to maintain control without ever seeming like you're trying to control anything. When you master these subtle techniques, you stop chasing validation or approval. Instead, you become the person others want to be around. You create an atmosphere where your presence is enough to guide interactions toward success, and people will naturally gravitate toward you for your calm and assured influence. If you're ready to step into this role and master the art of influence, like this video and comment, "I lead with calm" below. It's time to unlock your social mastery. Number 6, creating unshakable emotional control, the power of indifference. Mastering social situations requires more than just knowing how to communicate effectively. It demands emotional control. The ability to stay calm and composed, regardless of external circumstances, is what separates the masters from the amateurs in the realm of social dynamics. This is where the Stoic practice of apatheia, or emotional detachment, becomes crucial. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes when you are no longer ruled by your emotions or external events. When you gain control over your emotional responses, you become untouchable in any social situation. Emotional detachment doesn't mean becoming cold, indifferent, or uncaring. It means having the strength to choose your responses to external events, rather than allowing your emotions to dictate your actions. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the core principle of emotional control. By practicing detachment, you stop reacting impulsively or being swept away by the emotions of others. Instead, you become the person who remains steady and in control, no matter what happens around you. In social settings, emotional control means not letting others' moods or behaviors affect you. Imagine you're in a conversation and someone interrupts you or dismisses your ideas. Most people would react with frustration or defensiveness, which creates tension and weakens their social standing. But someone with emotional control, someone who practices apatheia, remains unaffected. They don't feel the need to defend themselves, argue, or prove their point. Instead, they respond with calmness, logic, or even silence, without becoming emotionally involved. This gives them an air of authority and strength that others naturally respect. The power of indifference comes from understanding that you cannot control the actions or opinions of others. You can only control how you respond. When you truly embrace this idea, you stop feeling frustrated or anxious in situations where others might provoke a reaction. Instead, you become emotionally immune. This immunity creates a sense of inner peace and confidence that others can sense, making you more magnetic and powerful in social interactions. One of the best ways to practice emotional control is through negative visualization, a key Stoic exercise. The Stoics would regularly imagine the worst-case scenario to prepare themselves mentally for any situation. In the context of social interactions, this means envisioning the possibility of rejection, criticism, or failure. Once you accept that any of these outcomes are possible and that they don't affect your worth or value, you remove the emotional attachment to the outcome. You realize that nothing external can truly harm you unless you allow it to. This practice builds resilience and gives you the strength to remain composed no matter the social environment. In addition to detachment, emotional control involves knowing when to let go. It means not holding on to grudges, past mistakes, or social slights. If someone disrespects you or treats you poorly, your emotional control allows you to let it slide without harboring resentment. This is not weakness, this is strength. It takes far more strength to let go of anger or frustration than it does to hold on to it. When you maintain this level of emotional resilience, people start to view you differently. You become the calm in the storm, the steady hand in a sea of chaos. This presence is magnetic, and it creates trust and respect. People gravitate toward those who are unshaken because they know they can rely on them, no matter what happens. If you're ready to master your emotions and become unshakable in social situations, hit the like button and comment, "I am unshakable," below. Let's start building that emotional resilience together. Number 7, becoming the person who attracts success, the ultimate mastery. To unlock your full potential in social situations, you must go beyond understanding others and controlling your emotions. You need to become the person who naturally attracts success. This isn't about faking confidence or putting on a mask. It's about embodying the qualities that make you magnetic, influential, and powerful in every aspect of your life. Success in social interactions and beyond comes from mastering yourself and living in alignment with your highest values. The foundation of this mastery is self-awareness. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you project an aura of confidence that others can't help but notice. Stoic philosophers like Seneca emphasized the importance of self-reflection and understanding one's purpose. When you take the time to reflect on your life, values, and goals, you build a solid sense of self-worth that isn't dependent on external validation. This inner confidence becomes your most powerful asset. When you embody this sense of self-worth, you start to attract opportunities without chasing them. The people you meet, the connections you build, and the success you achieve all stem from the energy you project. Others are naturally drawn to those who are anchored in their own purpose, people who aren't swayed by external events or the opinions of others. You create an aura of influence when you stay true to your values and maintain your personal integrity no matter the situation. This idea ties directly into the Stoic principle of virtue. Virtue, in the Stoic sense, is about living in harmony with your principles and doing what is right, regardless of the consequences. When you act with virtue, you create a reputation for yourself that is unshakable. People respect those who stand by their values, and this respect attracts success. In social settings, this means you become someone others turn to for guidance and support, because they see that you are trustworthy and reliable. Another key to attracting success is having a clear vision for your life. People who succeed socially and professionally are those who know where they are headed and what they want to achieve. This sense of direction gives them clarity and confidence, which is magnetic. When you know your purpose, others naturally want to be a part of it. They want to follow you, collaborate with you, and support your endeavors. The final element in becoming someone who attracts success is resilience. Life is filled with obstacles and challenges, but those who succeed are those who don't let setbacks define them. Instead of becoming discouraged or frustrated, resilient individuals use challenges as opportunities for growth. They understand that external events don't define their worth or success. Their response to those events does. The Stoics taught that life's difficulties are inevitable, but how we react to them is what truly matters. Those who approach life with resilience become unstoppable. In the end, becoming a person who attracts success means embracing your full potential. It requires mastering your emotions, understanding others, and living in alignment with your values. As you become more self-aware, grounded, and resilient, you will naturally draw success to you. If you're ready to become the person who attracts success and creates lasting influence, hit the like button and comment, "I attract success," below. Let's start this journey toward ultimate mastery together. Conclusion: you've now discovered that you're not shy. You've simply been unaware of the immense power within you. By embracing the Stoic principles of self-control, emotional resilience, and self-awareness, you've unlocked the key to mastering social interactions and becoming a force of influence in every area of your life. True power comes not from external validation, but from the quiet confidence that arises from within. The journey to social mastery and success is one of continuous growth. By practicing the principles we've discussed, embracing silence, mastering your emotions, understanding others, leading with humility, and building your resilience, you begin to transform not only how you interact with others, but how you view and engage with the world around you. Remember, success is not just about achieving external goals. It's about becoming the person who naturally attracts success by embodying confidence, self-awareness, and emotional control. As you continue to integrate these principles into your life, you will naturally begin to see your social presence grow, your influence expand, and your path to success unfold. If this video helped you unlock your true potential, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Stoic Mastery, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more transformative content. Leave a comment with the phrase "I am in control" below to commit to your journey towards social mastery. The power is within you, and now